Tonight's episode is a triple feature of creativity, resilience, and a little bit of mayhem. Just how we like it. I'm joined by three incredible talents from the independent film world. Aaron Hawkins, an award-winning filmmaker, an actor with a flair for the eerie and intense, and my friend from the acting class, Glenn Moorshower, coaches us in. Pat Powers, a Chicago-based musician, author, and an actor whose personal journey adds deep emotional weight to his work. And Lydia Manson, a powerhouse performer, an icon in her own right, and a rising force in the horror genre. Together, they're behind the film that's upcoming, Hellsgate, a modern-day cult thriller that's already generating buzz and smashing crowdfunding goals. Let's dive in. Let's start with the roundtable. Let's start with, what does storytelling mean to each of you? And we'll go around. Aaron?
Storytelling for me is my way of just telling a compelling story, whether it's on paper, doing stand-up comedy, or even with Hellsgate or any project that I do. I'm an artist by nature. I've been an artist for decades, so I just found my niche with doing films and telling my story that way. Whatever the story may be, it could be horror, it could be comedy, it could be anything for that matter. And where I get those ideas, straight from my head.
Lydia?
I would say storytelling for me. I deal with a lot of mental health issues, so being able to channel my depression and anxiety and PTSD into writing form helps me a lot, get it out of my system when I'm really in a dark place. And I want people, when they read my work, whether it be poetry or short stories or scripts one day, that when they read the words, they are automatically picturing it in their mind. They're feeling the pain or excitement, whatever I'm writing about. They feel that coming off the page the way I wrote it and how I want them to. I want them to be able to feel that emotion and see the story unfolding.
Beautiful. And Patrick?
Storytelling for me is about an adventure as well as kind of like an escape, while also implementing things from your life, whether it be good, bad, comedy, or horror. And like Lydia was saying, you want that emotion to be in your story and everything. So being able to express yourself, but also take people away from their own world for a little bit, has always been a draw to me, whether it be for scripts, acting, movies, music. There's always a story to tell from different mediums and everything. And I just want people to like it, just entertain.
Nice. Aaron, you played a huge range of characters. How do you mentally prepare for those roles that are so different from each other?
How I mentally prepare, number one, I read the script thoroughly. I take a marker and I black out the punctuation and stuff like that, because that's how I was taught to do it. So I do it that way. And I think, okay, if I'm going after a Southern flair, I watch movies, TV shows, or whatever I can watch that has a Southern feel to it. And then I'm like, okay, then I model that character after one of the characters within the movie or whatever I'm watching, and I go from there. I actually practice my character in a public setting on random people in whatever store I'm in, wherever I'm at. I'll change my voice to a Southern accent and talk like this, and kind of throw in a little bit of lingo and all that kind of stuff, and then I go right back to what I'm doing.
Isn't that fun? Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. It's a blast to do it like that, and I get weird looks because then people are like, "Wait, you were just talking Southern." Well, yes, I was. You had a little bit of a Southern accent. Yes, I did. I'm working on other accents. A lot of other accents can be difficult for me. The Southern one easiest because when I was stationed in the Navy, I was stationed in South Carolina, so I picked that accent up real quick. So that's how I prepare, and obviously reading the script, and then I also I write down the first letter from every single word that I'm trying to study, and that's how I also study the lines as well. That way
Excellent. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in New York City at the Russian team room with some of our extra milers,
Yeah.
Gwen and Pamela and Jessica, and we
Mhm.
pretended we actually became British having our tea. And at the end, one of the waitresses went up and the manager said, "How are the British ladies doing at table number 6?" And we just enjoyed it so much.
That's hilarious. That is awesome. That's great.
So tell us what Hellsgate is all about and how this project came to life.
Okay, well, how this project came to life? It came to life a little over 2 years ago when I started my sobriety journey. Um,
Good for you.
I'm not ashamed to say that, and not ashamed to talk about it because, you know what, that's part of it. At the end of the day, and I found that my writing got more intense the further along I got in my sobriety journey, because before I started, you know, I wasn't drinking much, but I was drinking enough to where it was affecting my writing. So I was like, let's just quit. So I quit that, and I just started writing the script, and it just progressed from there. Now, Hellsgate, originally it was supposed to be just a cult a cult movie, kind of like people would join a cult and, you know, do whatever they want to do. But then I thought, like, wait a minute. I have on one of the walls in one of the scenes, there's like 50 victims, and that's 5 decades worth of murder and mayhem. Then I also thought, like, wait a minute. Charles Manson's cult started around 57 ish years ago. So that's where the link came in with that. And then it's just progressed from there. I mean, in fact, between myself and Lydia, uh, the script has taken a a deeper evolution with quite a few of the characters, the lead characters and things like that. And I'm absolutely like loving what I'm reading from Lydia. So thank you, Lydia, for doing what you're doing, because you're bringing to life uh, the cult leader in this movie and bringing depth to that character as well.
Well, I don't want people to think that we're making a Charles Manson movie just because, you know, we have mentioned him. Like, Keith is not Manson. He's not
No.
trying to be Manson.
No.
It was just, you know, a fun way for us to connect it to something that people would recognize immediately and and know, oh, okay, well, I know the story of Charles Manson, you know, but through my research, doing, you know, reading all about Charlie and everything, and it's like, you know, he's not so much as what the media portrayed him to be. So I think it's good to show not you know, saying anything he did was good, you know. Obviously he did some bad things in his life, but the way he was portrayed, I don't want our character Keith to just automatically have that portrayal. Like, people are going to be like, oh, well, he's going to do this because he's this person, you know, he's acting like he's this person. And it's like, no, it's not. He is a combination of several different cult leaders, just their ideals and ideas, certain phrases they've used. So we kind of created him out, you know. Aaron gave birth to him, and I just kind of clothed him.
That is absolutely true, because even Keith's name, Keith Appleson, is a mashup of multiple cult leaders. Keith is one. I don't remember which cult he's tied to, but then you got Apple, which is, I believe, Applewhite, and then Son is Manson. So there's a little science behind Keith's name, and I can't take credit for that. My good friend actually loves watching true crime and cult
Who
type
doesn't?
movies. I know, right? And came up with that name for me. I'm like, thank you. So
Patrick, how are you making the Hellsgate project come to life?
I play Drew Hart. I am part of the cult, and I do activities that are kind of behind the scene. Can't talk too much about it. I've got a list of groceries. Let me put it like that. I've got a list of groceries that I got to go out and get. So can't talk too much about it, but you will see me.
Okay. What was it like, Aaron, watching the crowdfunding campaign to Hellsgate hit its goal?
it was awesome. I'm not gonna lie, it was really, really awesome. I was a little concerned, like everyone else was, but then once it hit, I was like, "Hey, wait, hey, we hit our goal," kind of thing, you know. So I mean, it was like kind of like shaking the rafters and that sort of thing. Talking to Lydia about it, and because we talk, gosh, we talk daily, almost daily. I mean,
Don't sound so like disappointed in it.
oh no, I'm not disappointed. It's awesome. I love it. It's
No,
great.
it's fine because I didn't get a message all day, but whatever.
He was nervous about his appearance on the Cynthia.
Probably.
Yeah, I was worried whether or not I should shave or not. So, and I didn't.
We got a couple of fans out here to say hello to. Leslie,
Yes,
you want to pop
Oh,
those up?
Leslie.
Hi. Yes.
yes, Leslie Iverson. Yes, she's one of my closest friends. She lives north of me in Wisconsin. I'm not going to fault her for that. You know, that's fine. But
And Keith?
she was in a movie with Robert Lasardo called American Trash. In fact, Robert
nice.
Lasardo, that's Robert Lasardo's movie. It was American Trash. So she was in that movie. So
Which, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's a good movie.
Excellent.
It's excellent.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And you got Keith, who loves your concept.
Keith is actually the director of a series I'm going to be filming in July. So thank you, Keith, for supporting this.
Perfect.
I love the indie love.
Yes, I love this. This is so cool. Seeing everyone. That's awesome.
And you've got Darth. I saw a Darth. Yes.
Yeah, it's
Saying
awesome.
hello. And Ryan saying hello from Wisconsin. Hi, Ryan. Thanks for being here. So, Aaron, you've directed and created other films like Evil Lurks. How does Hellsgate compare with that?
It doesn't. It literally doesn't compare. Evil Lurks was, or is, I should say, a supernatural style movie, horror movie that also messes with your mind. So you're in the mind of someone that was attacked sexually by her hypnotherapist, or whatever you want to call them. So that's where that movie is at. So there's a lot of symbolism, a lot of Easter eggs in that movie, like using milk with a glass and a pen. It's some sort of symbolism with that as well. So yeah, it doesn't even touch what Hellsgate is going to be. Hellsgate is a completely 180 of what Evil Lurks is. So
even Justin Cool says Evil Lurks is a must see.
Yes,
Right.
Justin's
awesome.
And Leslie
so
also
cool.
says it's
Oh
cool.
God, look at all this. Oh
Hi, Tom. Tom actually runs Gross Fest, which is an up and coming horror convention, and make sure to check that out.
Ooh, awesome. And MT says waves.
That is actually Maureen, and she was the director of a film I was in called The Ward. So I love that everybody's tuning in.
Awesome.
Yay!
This is so cool.
Yes.
Loving this.
Miss Lydia, you're both acting and you're an assistant director at Hellsgate. How are you balancing both sides of the camera? And tell us more. Tell us more.
Oh, well, I dove in and completely submerged myself into Hellsgate. He cast me originally as just Kelly, and then 2 months later,
Yep.
asked me to be second assistant director. unfortunately, our first director, he's the lead in the film, so he wanted to just focus on his character. So I stepped up to first AD. And we just kind of been rocking and rolling ever since then. And then Karen joined our little team. She will be the co-director with Aaron. And then we were able to bring on the awesome Bill Diamond as our artistic producer. He's absolutely amazing. I went to his studio and filmed the teaser trailer that you will see. Our full proof of concept will be coming out soon. We're going to be showing it at New Jersey Horror Con this weekend in Atlantic City. So if you want to be the first to see the proof of concept, make sure you come see us at our table.
Woohoo, woohoo.
And we're going to have, fun Hellsgate shirts and hats and posters.
And you can get those online too from Aaron also, correct?
Not the ones at the convention. This is a different style hat. The ones at the convention, I believe they're leather, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So yeah, the ones at the convention are strictly for the convention.
Achy Chris.
We do have swag for Hellsgate on my eBay store. Yes, absolutely, we do.
Christopher says
That's awesome.
new sound, and
Yeah, he fixed a sound issue for me on it today.
nice. We appreciate
Sweet.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Aaron,
Yes.
I wasn't ignoring you or anything. I was just trying to correct everything before I sent it to you.
No, I understand. I totally understand that. I understand that. That's all good. It takes time.
Grace Cavalieri says writers make stories. They are our creation machines. Woo-hoo.
Mhm.
So we thank you for all your creation. Pat, your creative rebirth came after a long chapter of caregiving. How did that experience shape the stories you now tell?
They made them very dark. A lot of stories that I started off writing normally start off very lighthearted because I just want to bring everything together and then just destroy it. So I write really messed up stories. And my debut novel, Here, There, or Possibly Elsewhere, that I wrote during and after my mom's passing.
Oh.
So I put everything that I was feeling into that book, and it went from 100 pages to over 300 because I just started feeling the story and unraveling it. Mm-hmm. So I took a lot of my experiences from healthcare, not all just with my mom, but I've taken care of World War II vets, other disabled people, and just a lot of not their stories, but what they've, I guess, have taught me, I try to put in the book. And there's always some type of lesson to be learned. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it's don't be hasty, don't be too judgmental, don't act on the first thing that you see. There might be things better to come, it's not all doom and gloom, even though the stories are kind of centered around that, but they don't all end the same way either. I like the twists and everything, because if you can see it from a mile away, what's the point of doing it? At least that's the way I like to look at it.
Well, thank you for your service. I'm sure you brought a lot of good feelings and let people tell their stories while you were a caretaker, because that's a tough job. It takes a lot out of you.
Emotionally.
Horror, humor, and heart. So what's the key to finding balance between the darkness and the depth?
I guess the moments in between the darkness and the light, I would say. Mm-hmm. There's always something to smile at. There's always something to frown at. But you have to focus on how you're going to react to the situation. It's not all about you don't want to become a product of your environment. You want your environment to become a product of you. As long as you're not trying to put out hate or anything like that is what I mean. Yeah. So whenever I'm telling the stories to the people to be taken care of, in turn they would tell me stories. Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't be something I fabricated. It'd be my life experiences and stuff. And we just kind of talk it out. And if they were interested, I'd tell them some of the stories I wrote. And I never started in horror. I actually started in comedy. Oh. So finding that balance for me was just kind of all right, well, this made you laugh. What would make you instantly stop? And then find a balance right in between that. That's kind of it can go either way depending on your audience, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you hold the audience in the palm of your hand.
Yeah. Just try not to squeeze too hard.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I kind of like to walk on the sunny side of the street, even though I know that the shady side's over there. I just kind of. So, how
But
did the three
but
of
if
you?
you're in the sun too long, you can get burned.
Yeah, that's true. Like everything. How did the three of
Yep.
you guys meet and start collaborating? You got a really good energy going on here.
Man,
I just bring
well,
really good energy wherever I go. I'm just kidding.
actually, she's not wrong. She's not lying about that. That's the truth. Um,
I can
I
feel it with that face.
I
She's
cannot recall how I got linked up with Lydia, but
We've been friends on Facebook for like
yeah,
years and like
yeah,
never, just like random comments,
yeah. Mhm.
once in a while, but like we had never actually had like a conversation. Um, and then he chose me to be Kelly. I don't know
Yeah.
what he was thinking.
It was, I don't know, when I see an actor, actress, whoever I want that I feel will fit the role, I'll reach out to them like, hey, read this script, and I think I said just pick a role that you want, kind of thing.
No, you told me I was Kelly,
Reggie or Kelly or something like that. Yeah, and
which now
because
makes me wonder, like, is that really how you see me, bro? Like,
no, no, that
because the way you had Kelly, I mean, I don't know if I should be insulted or not.
no, that's a compliment. So yeah, and I met Patrick
Compliment.
at his place of employment that is probably like 10 minutes from where I live in St. Charles, Illinois.
Yep.
Yep. So
Yeah, just by chance.
yeah, just talking about horror films and if I could put Evil Lurks as Blu-ray discs in the store to sell as like a consignment kind of thing, and to just spawn from there. I was like, he gave me his book, I gave him a copy of the movie, and I was like, well, here,
Well,
you want to audition?
what really drew it in was I won't go in specifics, but you were talking about a very specific death scene. And I'm just like,
Yes.
oh, hold on, let me put my work aside. What are you talking about? I must know more.
ooh,
Yes.
tell me more. So, how do you want people to feel after watching Hellsgate? But wait, no one's seen Hellsgate yet. Eric, let's show the clip.
Are you lost? Struggling in a world full of haves and have-nots. I am not normal. I never wanted to be normal. And here, you don't have to be normal. You don't have to be anything you don't want to be. We accept you. I accept you. Sprouts. Sprouts.
People say I'm no.
Woohoo!
Oof.
So, what do you want people to feel after watching Hellsgate? We'll go around. Go ahead, Aaron.
I want people to feel like, what did I just watch? And is my next door neighbor a cult leader? Or is he running a wellness center or that sort of thing? Because I will say, without revealing any kills graphically on camera, that all the kills that are in this movie could happen in reality. Um, I want people to think, and actually, I want people to be also sitting on the edge of their seat, like, what's going on, what's going to happen next, kind of feeling, because that's what I want when I go to see a movie of this caliber. I want to be grossed out. I want to be like, what in the world? Like, what is going on here? Like, holy crap, this is intense. So that's what I want.
Lydia, what do you want?
For me, it's more psychological. When you watch a scary movie, like Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger, or even Chucky, like, that is not going to happen to you. You're not going to be running through the woods and a man will just be walking and suddenly catch up to you because that doesn't make sense. But with Hellsgate, I want people when they're done seeing in the theater to look to their left and look to their right and be like, I could have easily been manipulated to be a member. They could have been a member. I don't have to be afraid of the people, these horror icons. I need to be afraid of the real people around me. And that's what I want people to take from this movie.
Beautifully stated. Patrick.
I want them to be scared. I want them to second guess their decisions in life to a point. Just like, should I be friends with that person I was friends with like 10 years ago? They said something weird that reflects from this movie, so maybe I should think about my decisions. Or I want them to be like, maybe I shouldn't look out my window tonight. Just maybe tonight is not the night for that. I just want it to last with them, so that way when they walk out of the movie and they're just kind of, they watch the movie and they're just like, okay, let's go back to that one scene really quick. We need to rewatch that. We really need to see this again. You know what? Let's bring Jerry over here. Jerry, you need to see this, and then it just spirals out because it's getting to so many people.
Yeah. Putting awareness on all levels.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Sensory overload.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
So we know there's real life events that color this. What other fears inspired parts of the film?
Oh my!
I feel like, is that just to Aaron?
No, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Yeah,
I was gonna say like the fear of just you feel different than everybody else, and like you're not going to be able to fit in with a group anywhere, because I'm sure I know this is just like a personal thing, but like I'll watch TikToks and stuff, and I see like these people that are getting married, and they have like 6-7 bridesmaids, and I'm like, people have groups of friends like that? Because all I know is having like one person to go hang out with, if that. I don't know that comfort of a big friend group, and I think a lot of people feel that way, but they feel maybe alone in it. So I just want people to know that no matter who you are, where you are, what you are, there is always a group for you that you will fit in with and that will accept you. You're never alone in any feeling that you have. It may feel like that in the time, but there will always be someone that you can talk to and be yourself around.
You know what, Lydia, you nailed that, because you speak about the different side. Well, I grew up different, so like I was born with vitiligo, which means I have different skin colors. I have 2 different skin tones all over my body, just everywhere. So I'm like a walking birthmark, I guess you'd call me. And I was bullied and ridiculed and all that stuff in high school and all that, and all this and all that. And I think, and I would observe a lot in school. So I was always the quiet kid in high school that would watch and observe. So that kind of lends to my artistic side, because I internalize a lot and then I put it out there on whatever medium I'm using, whether it be designing websites, writing scripts, or even designing artwork or anything like that. So that's where my different comes from. And also I design my own tattoos. So, there's that.
Leslie really feels what you had to say there, Lydia, and Christopher's clapping for you. Patrick, do you want to take it?
Hi, Christopher. Oh, well, I already said hi to you, so I take it back. I said thank you. I said thank you for fixing the sound. So, I mean, we're good, but no, thank you for watching. And Leslie, I would stand up for you. I was never asked in my entire life to be a bridesmaid. So I will stand up with you if you ever get remarried or renew your vows. I got you, girl.
Patrick, so what are your favorite horror movies or inspirations?
Oh man. Okay. For slasher, it'd probably be like Scream. I love Ghostface, but if you're going classic, Michael Myers, that one's really hard for me. I love all genres of horror, but just to make it more simplified, I like psychological horror. I like things that make you think, because you don't see what's at the end of that tunnel. Is that a light or is that a train? You don't know. You have to keep going until you find out. So I think that's the simplest way that I could put it. But I gotta say, I'm absolutely in love with the movie 28 Days Later.
Ah,
So that's one of my favorites. But slashers, just anything that makes you think for a little bit is really what pulls me in. So nothing that's like straightforward in your face, like, oh, this is exactly what it is from A to B.
Aaron, your favorite horror movies or inspirations?
Oof, there are many. Um, as a kid, I started watching horror films such as Poltergeist. Uh, The Exorcist is my all-time favorite, and it is my go-to for inspiration. I know that sounds really weird, but it is. Being that I watched so many horror films, I am desensitized to the genre. Like nothing phases me anymore with them. So that's probably why I wanted to have some crazy extreme kills in this movie. Um, and there are some, that's for sure. But those are my top two horror films. But more modern day, I would say I don't think it's classified as a horror film, but it's called the Purge. That's an excellent movie, and I love The Nun and the movie Ma. Those, uh, if you haven't seen those three movies, I know there's a bit of back and forth with The Nun. People love it or hate it or whatever. I loved it because of how it was filmed and just the creepy gothic nature of actually The Nun too was just amazing.
I went to Jesuit. I went to Georgetown University, and I never walked up or down those exorcist stairs that were right there.
Never.
All the way around. Never. Never, never, never.
Just in case.
Yeah, do you want to answer that one? Favorite horror movies or inspirations? Or you're just loving this one at this time?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. I picking up on like what Patrick said about like psychological horror. I particularly like that, and some of my favorite horror films are like old black and white ones. So whatever happened to Baby Jane, because you think of that movie and it's like it's classified as a horror movie. There's one death in it. Technically, there's one kill, and you barely see anything. It's the same thing with Funny Games. All of those kills are off screen, so you don't see any of it. You just hear it. So your imagination takes over, and now you're like, what could possibly be happening to them that they are making that sound? And to me, that's a lot scarier than seeing it right on your face, right on the screen. So I like things like that. And then I don't know why I can't think of the name of this movie, but it's an black and white movie, little girl, and she's actually the murderer, and she kills two people in the movie. And again, you don't see it. And The Bad Seed, there we go. I don't know why I could not think of that, but the original Black Seed is absolutely amazing. It's this little blonde girl with braided pigtails, and she's killed a little boy. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen this in the last 60 years or so. She kills a little boy because he got a medal and she wanted it. And then she kills the handyman at her home because he found out that she did that. And it's just like evil can be in the most sweetest of faces and you don't even know. And to me, that is scarier than anything else that you could create.
Yeah. So Aaron, you're all into horror. What drew you to horror as a genre?
Oh my goodness. I could pin it on my two ex-wives, but I won't do that. Honestly, I would say going back to my childhood with watching horror films as a child. That's what drew me to horror films. And oh gosh, I don't remember his name, but I think he wrote the movie Ma. Again, I'm going back to that movie, and I believe he does comedy also. So, but I love comedy, but I also think horror. I think it gets you thinking more. like just like Lydia was saying, about people next to you in the theater and stuff like that, and it gets you thinking more, I think, rather than just a mindless, like, I won't say mindless, but for lack of a better term, mindless laughing at a joke or whatever the case may be. I think, yeah, that's what has brought me to the horror genre, and my family is still trying to figure out why, and they've been asking me, Aaron, when are you going to write a comedy? Well, I have written a romantic comedy, but I have not filmed it because I just went off. I took that exit into Horrorville, and here I am.
You found your niche. You found your family.
Yeah, I found my niche. Exactly. Yeah.
Lydia, what's the most surreal moment you've experienced so far on your creative journey?
I think my most surreal moment was actually Aaron was kind enough to kind of let me take the lead on the proof of concept and the teaser trailer. So I was able to write that on my own. And it was the first time I ever directed something.
Nice.
And so directing that was amazing. And I was, like I mentioned earlier, I got to film at Bill Diamond's studio. And for those that don't know Bill Diamond, he's an American puppeteer. He's been in this industry for over 40 years. He worked with Jim Henson. He worked on Fraggle Rock, in all these crazy things. His latest big movie was artistic producer and did the lighting for Terrifier 3. And they filmed at his studio, and he's part of our team. So for me, the most surreal moment was when we got done for the day and he told me that I did an amazing job directing. So for me, because, he's my mentor, and for him to say that to me, it really meant a lot to me, that he sees something in me and wants to help further my career any way he can. And so to me, that is just like, who does that,
Yeah.
Doug says, great job on your point of concept.
Doug is actually going to be playing Chef Adrian in Hellsgate. So
very nice, Doug. Thanks for joining us. Everyone share this out. You can go watch replays on the Cynthia Manion Show on YouTube and wherever it is. What about you, Patrick? What's the most surreal moment you've experienced so far on your creative journey?
That one's hard. I've had a couple. Nothing quite as significant as theirs, but
if it's significant to you, then it's significant. You can't. Right. Don't compare your life to somebody else's highlight reel.
It's so hard.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I had somebody come and buy my book, and they told the person that sold it to them that it was the best book that they read all last year, and that was just like. That was enough to get me through the week.
Awesome.
What book was that? Where can people find it?
It's on barnesandnoble.com. It's called Here, There, or Possibly Elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's psychological horror.
I was looking for it. Yes. I was looking for it on Amazon. I forgot about Barnes and Noble for a second. My bad.
I had it on Amazon for a little bit, but I took it down and redid the cover because it was more fitting to the actual book. I kind of rushed it the first time, which is a mistake I made, but other than that, I would say like my music career, I've played with a lot of people that I never thought I would have played with, like Jeff Young, formerly of Megadeth. Who was it? Lucky Boys Confusion opened for my band a number of years back. So like, it was just like you meet so many different people, and like to be able to like gauge it on like what really stands out the most it's so hard. But there's been a lot.
Awesome. If Eric can pop up Patrick's YouTube station, people can reach out to him there just for a little look up for the book. And Here, There, or Possibly Elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
One scene in Hellsgate that really pushed you artistically or emotionally, Aaron, in your writing.
Oh, my my gosh, all. Oh man, that's a tough one to pick one particular scene. I would probably say how my writing style is where I like to have an intro kind of scene-ish kind of thing, like a scene or two, and then it goes to like the beginning credits and it goes into the movie. So I would say that beginning scene or two kind of was it for me because it was like an intro, but it was just so just juicy and dynamic and that sort of thing that kept me driven to write even more and more and more and just continue. I can't tell you how many times I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning just writing away and having like music videos on YouTube on my TV in the background. So I'll just look up and take a break for a few minutes and then go right back down and that sort of thing, just that kind of thing. The creative juices just flow whenever. Like I can look out my window and come up with a basic scene and just get inspired just by what I see in my daily life. So
Isn't that fun? Doesn't that just get you going, your fire, your passion, your reason to get up in the morning because you're like, and we got a shout out to Alan, who's watching from Las Vegas, baby. And Alan, thank you for sharing it out. We appreciate that so much. Thank you. And Otis.
Otis is going to be playing Keith in the film. He's our lead.
Yes.
Woo-hoo!
As you saw him give that amazing sermon in the teaser trailer.
Nice.
Okay, I'll spit it out, Otis.
Hello, fearless leader.
So anyone, how do you mentally protect yourselves when you're working on intense material?
If anybody knows how, I would love to know. I've gone to so many dark places these last few months. But I don't know if it's just because I'm predispositioned that way, or if it's, the research I was doing, going down several different holes and finding out like things that just like blow my mind, and trying to put myself in the shoes of people who deal with like serious issues going on, and to try and convey their pain onto the page so that maybe that doesn't have to happen to somebody else. So for me, I don't know how I protect myself. I haven't been able to yet.
Do you have a ritual or something you do when you finish it, like so that you can cleanse yourself and step out and go, like, Glenn, that's old, that's new, goodbye, and meditations maybe, and you got to cleanse that out of your body so that you don't take it with you when you go to sleep at night.
I should, but unfortunately, no, I don't. Sometimes people are like, well, how'd you come up with that? How are you acting that way? And I'm like, because don't you realize I'm acting all the time? Like, I don't show you guys the real me. I'm like, because that is for me. So I am acting all the time. So I don't even know how I would take myself away from that, because I'm so used to it now. It's second nature to me. I don't even have to think about it. So,
but you are operating from a place of truth.
I think there's truth in the center of everything that anybody acts or writes or says, no matter how much they deny it, because in order for you to even continue on with those things, you have to know at least some truth for it. So, yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Patrick, what about for you? How do you protect yourself? Otis, you can't take that shit to bed with you. No, you gotta wash it off.
Me and Otis lean on each other a lot. I will say that I've become great friends with Otis throughout this process. We actually run a mental health podcast together, trying to break the stigma surrounding mental health. So Otis has been a great help with me. And I'm sorry, Patrick, I did not mean to take that away from you.
No, you take all the time you need, especially for that. I love that.
Thanks
Yeah.
for listening.
Hi, Chuck. Thanks for joining us. Share it out. Yeah. Woo, woo. Lydia's is dropping beautiful pearls here. So,
Yes.
What I'm here for.
yeah. Thank you for being here.
Mhm.
Patrick, how about what's your biggest challenge on the set of Hellsgate? How do you like come up with your music and what you're doing?
Well, with Hellsgate, I'm just trying to like get in the mindset of a cult goer. So that's a little hard. But I knew people who actually were and stuff way long ago. I used to have a podcast and I interviewed somebody about it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I'm trying to take a note from that of like how they went about it, but also putting in like how my character is supposed to be. So I'm trying to like develop that concept in my mind of how, okay, how do you portray this, but also act in this fashion, if that makes any sense. And I think I'll leave it at that for when it comes to Hellsgate. As for the music, it sounds weird, but I turn off. And like I've told all my friends this, like I just don't think. And that even comes to like when I'm playing, because I've been playing for 23 years now. I started when I was 10. And to me, it's more of like meditating. And to me, that in a way lets me get out all my anger or angst or depression or what have you. It's another way to talk without saying words. And it's just the vibration in the music. And most of my music doesn't even have lyrics to it. It's just guitar work or like piano and stuff like that, just so that way you can kind of feel more of what the musician is trying to express rather than hearing them talk, because a lot of artists don't know how to express that because they're either afraid of being judged or they don't know how to come off in just the right way without somebody taking it the wrong way. And I've experienced that a lot, so I ended up kind of like retracting into myself and then talking through my guitar, if that makes sense.
Perfect sense. Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Aaron, what's the biggest challenge you've had with Hellgate? And how are you overcoming it?
The biggest challenge is money.
Money. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to give this project money, you can go to Aaron's right here, his project here.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be
Yes.
amazing.
Beautiful.
You could
have some
pre-order your
awesome-
DVD so you can watch it all the time when it comes out.
Yep. Don't need the internet to watch it. You just put it in your Xbox or whatever you have to watch it, and there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Or you could use the internet, get a digital copy.
Yep. Yep. We
You
have
could
some really
go
cool
back
perks out there.
and-
You could be 10 most wanted. You could be a victim. You could be, yeah.
We have one associate producer perk left.
Yep.
We only posted one executive producer perk and 2 associate producer perks on the campaign, and the executive producer is gone and we're down to just 1 associate. So once that one is gone, there will be no more producer perks. So people who are interested in those, jump on it.
Yep. Jump on
Go,
it. Yep.
go check it out now. It's right
Yep.
there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't
I
let
mean,
the
we have a
moment
great-
pass you by.
Yep. Yep. Some really cool perks. I
are
would
you-
buy all the perks, honestly, if I was not if I was a consumer, I would buy them all, honestly.
I'm
So,
just going to steal it from set. I mean, I'm just going to borrow it from set when we're
Yep.
done.
You mean, oh my. Yeah, that's, I'm gonna
I
use-
steal
I'm-
something from every movie I've done.
Oh, no.
Like something little that
Okay.
nobody would notice missing. Like one time it was a piece of rope that they used to tie up one of the people. When I did Reunion from Hell 2, it was a Christmas slasher that came out 2.5 years ago. I just want to point that out. It did not, it wasn't chasing Terrifier 3 status with doing the Christmas slasher, but I kept one of the ornaments off the Christmas tree. So I just like grab little things here and there. Nobody misses them, but it my little memento.
Yes, Doug says meet you this weekend in Atlantic City and grab some great merch.
Mm-hmm.
Merch you can only get at the show.
Oh,
Only. It will
Well,
not be
thank you,
available
Leslie.
anywhere else.
Exclusive.
so far.
Do you
Exclusive.
have? Are you working on a blooper reel? Do you have favorite behind the scenes clips and stuff you're putting together?
I would love to do a blooper reel. Every movie I do, I'm like, I'll do something stupid just to make people laugh. And I'm like, blooper, but nobody's ever recording because on indie sets, it's all time is money. And, okay, we did our 3 wide shots. Let's do our 3 medium. Let's do our 3 close-ups. We're done. Let's get out of here. There's no time for that. So I'm making sure we have a blooper reel.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
See,
phone a friend. Bring them in.
That's not how I film. I turn the camera on and make sure the sound is good, and then I'll just let it roll, and then I'll yell action, and then they'll do their thing, and then I'll let the camera roll way past the time that the dialogue is obviously done, just to see what's going to happen, because you just never know. I did that with the Evil Lurks, and I captured something that I actually used in the movie. So you just never know what you're going to capture. And it's a good way to capture funny moments, bloopers, and that sort of thing. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever need me to do something stupid, just say it. I'll do it.
Okay.
I literally mooed at 3:00 in the morning on set. Because everybody was like getting grumpy, because it's 3:00 in the morning. We're still rolling. And I'm like, man, how are we going to get through this? Like, and I'm just like, I just started mooing. And then everybody, started laughing and we got it done. I was just like, I would go up to the DP right next to his ear and I'm just like, and he's like, okay, I'm good. I'm like, I could keep going.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Aaron, you've worn multiple hats: actor, writer, director. Which role feels the most natural to you?
Oh my goodness, the most natural would be the actor role. I love being in front of the camera, but I also do like creating. I like creating things. So whether I'm creating in front of the camera or behind the camera, but my love is in front of the camera. I don't know how I got behind the camera doing all this stuff, but it was probably my mentor in California, a good friend of mine that I went to high school with. He's also a filmmaker. He got me into doing the behind the scenes, all the writing and stuff like that. But my first love is always going to be in front of the camera, always.
Excellent. I hope you get to meet him in person. You have to go to California.
Yeah, I have to go to California for that. But again, I went to high
He
school
can come
with
see
him.
you in Atlantic City. Heck, call him.
Yeah.
This weekend, Showboat Hotel.
Perfect. Southwest has a special.
Yes.
Lydia, you got all the hats going on. What's your favorite hat currently?
So Doug and I, we played detective partners. We kind of made like our own blooper reel. We were just like goofing around before we were filming our scenes. So we like had our guns up in the air and our backs to each other. And I was like, oh, I'll go in. And I'm like, I run into a room and I'm like, clear. So we just like kind of did our own funny little blooper things. So thank you, Doug. Not that I forgot. And Maureen, I can't tell you what I swiped from the board because that would ruin all of the fun. But you didn't notice it missing. And I technically am included on the Indiegogo because you can get a signed 8x10 of me. So if anybody wants that, picture may vary.
Pop up Lydia's Instagram, or what do we have for Miss Lydia here? There we go.
I am still not comfortable as an actor. Writing is, I've just started that recently. I enjoy writing. Directing, that was the first time. Assistant directing, I assistant directed my first film over the summer, which was the film Doug and I worked on. It's called Camera X, How to Kill a Pedophile, and that'll be out later this year. And I liked doing that. I like being organized. People always kind of give a little chuckle when they see my binder when I get on set, because I have everything, like everything's flagged, each page is broken down into eighths. I have everything, so I can tell you exactly where we start and finish when we're recording. And I like that part. But it sucks because when you're on an indie film, you are wearing so many hats, you're doing so many jobs. So I can't just focus on that. I have to, I'm calling cut, I'm calling action, I'm making sure continuity is correct because I'm doing all of these jobs. So, but I think if I could focus on like just script supervisor or something like that, I would like it.
Yep, you got it. Okay. Patrick, musician, actor, what hat do you like the best?
That is even split around all of them. It just depends on the projects that are going on. Like, I've written so much. I've acted in a lot of things that are uncredited, voice work, like voice actor work. That's where I started. So it really just depends on the gig, really. Like, I'm up for all of it. All of it to me is, if you funnel it down, it's all just acting. I'm acting on the guitar. I'm acting like I'm telling a story. I'm just doing my thing. So it all comes down to acting. So I'd just say that.
Perfect. Aaron, what advice would you give to other indie filmmakers or creatives chasing a dream?
Oh, well, I wouldn't necessarily call it chasing a dream. It's obtaining your dream, achieving your dream. Um,
Getting your dream.
yeah. What does Mr. Glenn Morshower say? He didn't go to California
To pursue an actor career, he went to have an
acting career. Exactly.
Have your dream.
Exactly. So I'm having that dream, and that's what I would say to all of them. Anybody getting into this industry. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. You will run into all kinds of different things. You just have to know how to roll with the punches and just adapt and overcome. And I think my military background has helped me with that, and in certain instances. So yeah, that's what I would tell everybody is all that, and just go for it. If you feel compelled to film, just go for it. Grab your camera, grab your phone, whatever you got, just use it, because at the end of the day, um, it's going to be you that is going to be in your own way when it comes to creativity and that sort of thing. Like, I go back to Evil Lurks. We used a Canon T3i digital SLR camera, two of them, to film it. We wanted the dirt. We didn't want the 4K. We used what we had. So we created the film that way.
What's next after Hellsgate?
Oh man, I have I have at least 3 more scripts in various completion, and I am in development in another one that I titled QR, and that is inspired from Hellsgate, actually, from one of the advertisements with the QR code that we have on it. So it was inspired by that. So you just never know where you're going to get inspiration from at all. You just never know, and you just gotta grab it, write down that idea, get it written down. Even text your friend, say, "Hey, don't let me forget this," and text them. I do that to my friend all the time. She gets tired of it, but she goes, "That's cool," and she'll resend it back to me to remind me. So.
And listen to your whispers. They give you really good information and great ideas.
Yes.
Great inspiration. Miss Lydia, how could the audience support you in your various roles and get involved with you more? Eric, if you'll put up everyone's little Instagram thing again so that you can reach out to Lydia. Here is her Instagram. Find out more about her. Follow her. She's amazing.
So you can follow me on Facebook too, just Lydia Manson. You'll see a picture of me. It's in a blue shirt, and I'm just like laying like this. But
thank you.
I'm just, it's for the people.
Oh, your Marilyn Monroe was channeling through there.
But right now, I'm attached to a few other films. I'm filming Fairfield County 4 in June. I'm also filming a movie called The Lady of the Castle de la Morte. July will be the Red Huntress series, which Keith in the comments is actually the director of that. And then November will be a toy maker, which Otis will actually be my, it's my first lead role in a film. So nervous about that. Otis is my I'm his assistant in the movie. So he's the male lead and I'm the female lead. So I'm super excited about that. So unfortunately, they're all running Indiegogos. So anybody that wants to help any project, you know, Hellsgate, a toy maker, Fairfield County 4, the Red Hunter series, Castle de la Mort has closed theirs, but and you know, it takes money to make all these creative things, and I appreciate everybody so much for all the support I've gotten on every campaign I've kind of pushed, and I feel bad because I feel like all I do is push campaigns on people, but I try to make other content for them to enjoy. So thank you, everyone. I kind of I don't know. I ran off on a rant there, but that's me.
You're amazing. It's great. We want to say hi to Jake for joining us and to Mr. Rodriguez there. And we want to hear from Patrick. Can you put up Patrick's how to reach Patrick, please? There it is. Patrick, where are you going? What's your project? What are you doing? How can we help you? How can we support you?
I guess going straight to support, you could find me at TikTok. That's where I put a lot of like my stories, my stupid little shorts that I do. And that's at Linkski right there. I tell a lot of weird stories on there too. But if you want like the physical copy of the book, check that out at barnesandnoble.com because it's only online. Or if you're going to Ghoulish Mortals in St. Charles, they sell it there. That's the only brick and mortar store that actually has it. So it's kind of exclusive, but it is what it is. I've got 3 other books that I'm jumping around and writing currently. I'm working on a script for something that I can't go too much into at the moment, but there will be other film projects and stuff. And I am currently working on releasing an EP of my music, which is taking longer than I thought.
Fabulous. Just get her done a little bit every day. Aaron.
Yeah, exactly.
Final words.
Final words. Well, I'm going to address a question first, Mr. Rodriguez. Yes, they're all going to be horror. Final words. Be good or be good at it.
Thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I am Cynthia Manion, your host of the Cynthia Manion Show. We are on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Share it out to the world. Let us know what you think. Like us. Subscribe to the Cynthia Manion Show, and it's on YouTube. Thank you so much to our guests, Aaron.
Thank you for having me.
Patrick, it's been a real pleasure getting to know you. We will always follow you. You can come back and tell us about your wins.
Thank you.
Love you. If you'll stay for the green room, we'll chat with you. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much. See you next week.